All right, welcome everybody. I'm Robbie Durant, co-driver for Travis Pastrana in the 199 Subaru Motorsports USA car. Welcome back to Launch Control on our countdown from 10 to 1. We're at number 7, season 5, episode 10. So this episode, this is the finale. This is the final shootout for the championship of the 2017 American Rally Association Series. The fight with David that year was something else. This episode really told the story from the outside of the car, from the team's perspective, the inter-team rivalry, the team tactics and shenanigans that went on between the two drivers, and the tactics that really came down to the last stage of the last day of the final event of the season. All right, enough talk. Here we go. This is the one we've all been waiting for, 2017 finale, teammate on teammate. I hope you enjoy it.
Just a single event remains in the American Rally Association's 2017 season. And at that remaining round, a champion will be crowned. The current leaders, David Higgins and Craig Drew, could have, and probably should have, claimed the title in New England last month. But circumstances didn't go their way. They still hold the championship lead, but they now face a must-win situation. While luck and mishaps have plagued the number 75 season, the 199 car has enjoyed good fortune. Travis Pastrana and Robbie Durant are the only team that can get in the way of the reigning champions' quest for a repeat title. They've won 2 events and have been a worthy adversary to their teammates. But this weekend, they must win to force a tiebreaker. It's both a dream come true and a team's worst nightmare.
Good luck, sir. Have some fun.
Now, Subaru Rally Team USA have to handle 2 cars at maximum attack. Aggressive race tactics, and a ticking clock towards one of these teams walking away as overall champions when the champagne flies. This is Launch Control. It's a quiet day in northern Minnesota. The sleepy lakeside town of Walker is where the Ojibwe Forests Rally begins. No championship is easy, and in rally nothing is certain until the final finish line.
I have to win 2 more stages than David wins. I also have to win the race for the championship. So the tiebreaker is pretty interesting because how it worked out, and amazingly after the entire year, we're only 2 points separated basically in stage wins.
They came up with a tie-break system that would enforce bringing to an end of season, and because of that, our misfortune on some of the super specials where we had the turbo issue in STPR, it gave us a 28th position on a 1 minute stage, but that gives us 28 points deficit to somebody that wins a stage, so that's really gone against us. He needs to win to go to a tie-break. So the tie-break only comes into equation if he wins.
We can't lose any stages. We can't lose any time. We can't lose the rally. And we have to take chances, but we can't break. I mean, it's really, our job is simple but really complex.
The simplest thing is just go out there, do what we do on our rallies, enjoy the rally and drive well, and hopefully that'll take care of itself.
6-event championship means, of course, that if there's 2 drivers fighting for the season or for the win, you can have a situation where you have 3 wins each, and you can have a tiebreak. And the very interesting thing was, after we'd sat down with all our lists and all our stage times from every stage of the year, there was 4 points in it going into this race. This meant that, a flat tyre, a puncture, a problem with the car, a mistake in the recce, a mistake on my part, a mistake on Travis's part, or David and Craig's part, would make a big difference to those tiebreak points. And sure enough, that is what happened as the event played out.
No team orders, and no holding back. Both drivers are multiple-time champions, and they're here to win. Pastrana and Durant take to the stages first. Being first guarantees a dust-free view, but provides zero insight into your competition, while you lay fresh tracks on the ground for those behind. But the 199 car is following their own program. They can't afford to play games. They need stage wins and an immediate lead if they have any chance at the championship.
The stage win thing was a real kicker in the system for us. We knew that we had to both win the rally and then win or end up with less points than David, and by doing that we had to win more stages. So what do? Well, like any event, you're strong in some areas and you're weak in others, and you understand, or you try and understand what those areas are going into the event, and you make the most of them. You push like hell on those stages you think you can do well on.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go 70, flat crest. Then late left 4, tightens 4 minus.
Higgins and Drew know that Travis needs to win the event and at least 4 more stages this weekend. But with the bulk of the stages coming on day 2, Higgins and Drew aim to strike a balance between a winning pace and conserving their tires. On the first loop of stages, Pastrana pulls away with 3 stage wins. He's thrown caution to the wind.
Left 4 in over crest hold, right 4 minus, left 4 in over crest.
Higgins and Drew suffer a hard hit with a rock that costs them dearly.
250, mile and a half. Mile and a half, we okay?
Got a punch, I think.
Okay, dip then, flat crest, 40, left 6, okay, 200. Left 6, continues, over finish.
They now trail in 3rd place by 37 seconds.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a puncture or bent something. Rock being clipped and pulled out.
Something not right, isn't there?
Yeah, it's damaged the wheel. I think it's broke a wheel. But
We knew from the outset. We went flat out from day 1, stage 1. David, yes, got a flat early doors on that first loop of stages on the Friday, but it doesn't take the pressure off because he can still win the championship at this point. He knows that he has to just win more stages. It's not over for him, and by all means, it's nowhere near over for us. So we are absolutely flat out. We did pull out a little bit of a lead in that first loop of stages, but there's a long way to go. You know, it's 2 full days of rally, and it was going to play on from there.
The red team arrives for the only service of the day.
I think our pace is really on, and we won the first 3 stages. So I know David's had some trouble, but really the rally comes down to the stage 2 and 5. So we got stage 5 to go, and if we can make it with no puncture, I think we're looking pretty good.
And then we'll do the wides also for the last 2 super specials.
4 minutes later, Higgins and Drew pull into service, frustrated by their continued bad luck.
first stage, quite early into it, there was a rock that was pulled out on a blind corner. So we hit the rock, which damaged the inside of the wheel, that was then jamming against the caliper and got a puncture. And then just to top it off, just came in now and found out that we didn't go out on the tyres that we had planned to go out on. So where we wanted to go on the narrow tyre for the sand, the wide tyres were fitted. So all in all, long way to go.
There is a little bit of time with rally. It's odd. You get this relationship with the driver, co-driver in the car, where it's so intense when you're on the stage, and then when you're off the stage, the smart thing to do is kind of look out the window and think about something else. You're not passing the time, but you're kind of just trying to slow your mind down and relax and get ready for the next bit. There was no such thing on this event. Every second was like, right, what if this? What if that? What if the other? I actually found the road book from that event yesterday or last night, a couple of days ago, and some of my scribblings from that you might be able to see here. We got some stage times, we got some points allocations, and we got some notes. This was all while I was in the car, already updating all the numbers I'd done previous to the event.
Back on the stages, Pastrana and Durant continue the push to grow their lead and win as many stages as possible. Every stage win carries weight, and with the lead they've been afforded, a tiebreaker situation is becoming more likely.
One thing that people, I think they do see with Travis from the outside, but I certainly see it, and I think the team see it from the inside, is just how smart he is when it comes to this kind of stuff. He can figure out where he's going to be quick, what the other guy needs to do to lose, what he needs to do to win, and he knows that in his head the whole time. So I'll be just feeding him bits of information saying, well, the third place guy did this, David's done that, we could do this, we've got 2 more stages, how about the other? And between us, we're making a plan to try and keep going.
Higgins and Drew need to turn around their misfortune quickly. They need to prevent the time gap from growing to the point where they can't recover. If they can claw back time, they'll not have to worry about stage wins. But when the rain falls, so does any chance of winning the event. A poorly placed camera blocks their windshield wipers. It sounds like a small problem, but it costs them over a minute. They'll win the final stage of the day, but the damage is done. They're now 2 minutes behind their teammates. They have lost the rally. When both cars arrive at service at the end of the day, the team is clearly upset. Flat tires, trees, rocks, these are a part of rally. But when an outside factor plays a role in deciding a championship, it's crushing. It's been a restless night. Rain greets the teams on the championship deciding day.
Yeah, well, not yet. I gotta try and reach under the car now.
I love the rain.
I'm not bad in the rain, but beating David Higgins in the rain, it's like beating Elvis at a lookalike contest. I've heard it's happened once, but I wasn't there.
It's gonna be an interesting day.
So Friday night, it gets dark, we're back to the hotel, we've kind of debriefed the day, we've run through a million scenarios about the next day, and we go to bed and wake up the following morning and it's rained, and it's seriously rained overnight. And so plan B and the tyre strategy for the wet weather comes out. As Travis explains, or it's explained in this episode, you can buy tyres essentially by taking a time penalty. You can take some new tyres. With a bit of a lead, that suddenly becomes possible. David also had a lead at this point back to third place, so for him it was possible. He could have taken tyres without losing a position in the rally. He could have perhaps gained an advantage on the stages, so it was all to play for.
Both the blue and the red Subaru squads were focused on winning the event. But with the gap now over 2 minutes, the strategy has changed.
To say the odds are against us is an understatement. We've got a massive battle to fight today, but if Travis wins, we have to get second place minimum, and then also we have to make sure we get more stage wins. We've won this championship 8 times before, and we've won it by fighting hard and never giving in, and that's going to be the case today.
Pastrana looks to win the event, but that doesn't hand him the championship. He still needs stage wins, and Higgins needs to take them away. On stage, Higgins is at full tilt. Nothing matters now but being outright fastest.
Flat crest 40, braking crest right 3 plus long hug.
The champions won't just hand over their crown.
40. Left 5 plus 40.
Pastrana knows this battle is anything but over, but his position is vastly improved from where he started. The problem is, the champ is angry. Higgins and Drew win both stages on Loop 1. When the cars arrive at service, new strategies begin to emerge. Both factory Subarus have a tire limit of 10 tires per rally. Every tire used beyond that costs a minute worth of penalties. Normally, that's not an option. But when the championship is coming down to purely stage wins, fresh tires start to look very appealing.
You know, we're looking at taking new tyres here to go for the stage wins. Obviously, it puts Travis in a difficult situation because if we take them, he needs them as well. If he takes them and we don't take them, he could be in a difficult situation.
the chances are David is going to buy 4 brand new tires, which in this mud would be huge. But if we buy tires, then he won't, and he'll be 30 seconds ahead of us when we go out in the next run. So buying tires, basically just buying time.
We need a good front left.
With Pastrana leading Higgins in and out of service, he can't afford to take tires.
If he does this time, then we'll buy him for less.
Yeah, exactly.
He takes one and fakes taking others to confuse Higgins. Taking one tire if Higgins doesn't would tighten the gap to first. It's a risk. The two teams play a game of chicken. Team orders clearly don't exist.
Good luck, sir. Have some fun.
Higgins, not knowing that Pastrana only took one, also leaves with a single new tire on the car, with the scoreboard essentially unchanged. Pastrana leads the way. He needs more stage wins now, or he'll find himself on the back foot once again. He opens the loop with a win.
By this point, we're still keeping the tally. We've got 1 point here, 1 point there. He's got 2 points for that. What's the total? Where are we? As well as trying to navigate our way through the event and not make any mistakes, of course. You know, they always say it's easier to chase than it is to lead, and sometimes that's the case. We were definitely, crossing our fingers at times in those stages.
Higgins responds with a massive stage win on the next, cutting the overall lead to just over a minute.
Flat right 70, top press. Left 6 minus long, okay. Time to 80 into left 5 camber.
Then another stage win for Higgins brings the lead down to 47 seconds. Three final stages remain. One long forest stage and 2 in-town street specials. The championship is still up for grabs.
So we win 2 of the next 3,
Yeah.
we win the championship. We win 1 of the next 3, we tie for the championship. What are the chances we tie on race wins? We tie on best finish, we tie on worst finish. We've tied on everything possible this year.
The best of 3 will take the title. Because of it, Tire Purchasing Annex takes center stage again.
Being first on the road and also having to stay first in the rally, we knew that taking 2 or 3 or 4 tires would put us down to second overall on the road. And maybe the new tire advantage was not enough to bring us back in and overhaul David for the lead we would have given away. So at this point, that was probably not an option for us. We couldn't take a full set of tires. I know it wasn't clear to all around us. Even some of the camera guys were, hang on, what'd they take? Did they take 1? Did they take 4? We don't know. And yeah, we got to the point where we knew that was not on the table. Putting us down and giving up our first place was not an option we were prepared to take. So out we went in the mud and the rain on essentially fairly worn tires.
We need the next one. He knows we need the next one. He needs the next one. He's probably going to go 4 new tires.
I thought so.
But
yeah,
we can go 1, and it doesn't matter what.
Higgins is many minutes ahead of third place. He could buy 4 new tires. It would be a massive advantage on the forest stage. But if he doesn't take any, and Pastrana takes just 1, Higgins could inherit the lead. The red team washes the tires to make them seem as new as possible. Higgins keeps a close eye. He's on the fence on what to do.
It's going to be hard now. The stage we're going back out to is the one that he beat us hard on the one before. So we've won heavily on all the ones before it. He's got something good in that stage, so it's going to be tough. So
Pastrana leaves service without taking any new tires. The number 75 crew doesn't know for sure what Pastrana left with, so they too leave without taking any.
Get both spares out anyway, because we'll be taking the
That one can go on the front.
The worst ones will go as spares, won't they?
Pastrana's bluff works for the second time, keeping the battle on even footing. As the cars arrive in town, Pastrana has won the sole remaining forest stage by just 0.4 of a second. The pressure is now all on Higgins and Drew. They must win both spectator stages or hand the title to their teammate. Number 75 enters the stage.
200. At the end, left 4 minus. 105, keep right for turn hairpin left 1, around the barrel.
They're on a winning pace until they hit a chicane. A 20-second penalty hands Pastrana the stage win and the title.
We have one super special ahead of us before looping round to go again. And word gets back to us that he's hit the chicane or made a mistake at one of the chicanes and lost 7, 8, 10 seconds. Enough to make the difference, basically. And we honestly couldn't believe it. So basically, knowing this, all we got to do is not do anything stupid. We got to not hit a curb, not knock a wheel, not do the same as David, not do too many donuts around the pylon at the end, do the right number, and it would be okay. But we still got to do it.
When Pastrana finishes the stage, his teammates shake his hand. It's a bittersweet moment for the teammates.
Long entry into it.
What a day. What a...
Well done, buddy.
Good man.
Congratulations, guys. Well done.
We knew 2017, he was in a good place. He knew he had the season to focus on, he knew the events, and he knew that it was going to be his best chance. However, it has to go your way. It really has to. When the luck's there, you have to take it, and when the chances come your way, you have to grab them. Any mistake from us would have been the end of it, even with David's bad luck. It had come down to the very last pair of stages on the very last day of the last rally of that season. And not only that, within a few points of the tiebreak. You know, we'd tied the tiebreak and then we'd gone to the second tiebreak and won by a couple of points. It was just unbelievable.
8 months of rallying has seen the story play out. A dominant return to the stages by the reigning champions at the opener in Canada, followed by a strong rebuttal by Pastrana in Oregon. This season would prove to be one of the closest in recent history.
I wanted to be competitive. I wanted to beat him my whole life. It's going to get way, way harder from here. This was our best notes, our best rally, our best everything.
It was the tightly fought championship run every rally fan wants to see.
I'm not going to go back over the break and think, oh my God, what have we got to do different? You know, when you know you've won more stages and you can't make luck, you can't buy luck, you can't prepare for luck, and it wasn't meant to be this year.
Rally is part speed, part luck, part persistence. And this year, by the skin of their teeth, Pastrana and Durant found the magic equation.
These guys were spot on all year. They've had a lot of adversity, but Robbie and I, when it came down to it, we were able to make it work on that last stage and then here. So it is a dream come true. He's my mentor, my coach. I couldn't have been here without that guy.
A 3-year comeback to a title he's held 4 times previously. This is the sweetest of them all. In equal cars, head to head, he found a way past his mentor.
When we needed to win, everything on the line, last real stage of the rally, we pulled it out by 0.4 of a second. But we didn't leave anything on the table. We pulled every trick out of the book. That's what team's for, right?